Hi, and welcome. I'm going to wait just a minute. If you would please comment and let me know that you can hear me, that would be awesome. Before I start, we'll just wait a minute. If you would just comment below, are you able to hear me? If you would just put a thumbs up to make sure my sound is working. Are you able to hear me? Mary, can you hear me? Could you just say yes or a thumbs up? And that's probably okay. Gonna wait just a minute still. Okay, so you can hear me. Thank you, Mary. Going to wait just a minute more, wait for a couple more people to jump on before we start. Thank you for joining me tonight in the online classroom. Here's a few more. There's Nathan, there's Trish. Hi, Trish. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and begin. So tonight in the online classroom, we are going to work with the lungs to get them to relax and open, especially if people are having coughs or congestion, and also the shoulders, because they go hand in hand. When the shoulders are pulled up and there's tension, there's been a lot of stress, it's very difficult for the capacity of the lungs to do what they're supposed to do if everything is tightened and restricted in the rib cage. We actually need to open up the tissue to get our lungs to expand, to get some deep breaths, and help the body to relax, especially in the time we're in, which is why the online classroom is relevant. And thank you for coming. Hello, Erin, good to see you. So my son Davis is my model tonight in my office. And I am going to actually follow along the notes that I wrote for you. So when you watch the video, you can follow along exactly, and then there won't be any questions, hopefully. I tried to make it as simple as possible so you can do it on someone in your home, or you can actually do it on yourself as well. Mostly the front ones on yourself, the back ones you can't. So let's begin. So let me have you pull your shoulder blades back, Davis. So we're going to start with the shoulder blades. Okay, go ahead and relax. And we're going to come to the top of the shoulders, and I'm going to push up his shoulder blade so you can see what I'm doing, and find the very top of the shoulder blade, the corner, and put your hand on that. So that's going to be your guide. And as your hand's on that, you're going to take 2 fingers and come directly across, and that's your point. So you're about 2 inches out from the shoulder blade, and you're still a finger width and a half from the spine. Not any time during this work do you ever put your hand or push on the spine. So that's a must to know. Please don't put your points on the spine. So as we begin, I'm going to rotate clockwise, and I use these 2 fingers. You can just use your middle finger. And what you're going to do in that rotation clockwise is you're going to go about 50 times clockwise. And I won't do the 50 times today, but you'll be able to do that at home. And then the next point is I'm going to bring your shoulder blade back up. So we did the top of the shoulder blade, and we're going to split it right in half, come directly across, and it's almost exactly right underneath the point you just did. And you'll see that point is getting red, and you're going to do your next point. I would suggest doing both points at the same time, just like this. So you're rotating out clockwise. What these do, they're acupressure points to open lung tissue. I'm not pushing hard, but the circulation is what is going to create the redness in the skin, and that's what creates oxygen flow to the muscles, which is what we're looking for. It'll help the shoulders drop and allow the rib cage to relax and the lungs to open more fully. Okay, so there's point number 2. So we have 1, 2. Our third point, I'm going to bring the shoulder blade back up. So you'll find the bottom part of the shoulder blade. And you're going to come straight across so you're directly underneath that second point. And this is all in your notes. And so you can do them both at the same time. You can also have the person sitting up. I think it's nice to lay down because they can relax, and you can put something under their forehead so they can still breathe, because obviously most people don't have a massage table at home. So you're going to do here 50 times. So we have 3 points. We're going to come one more down. So measure 2 finger widths down from the last point. So it's really at the base of the lungs. And rotate the points clockwise 50 times. So those are the points for the lung and shoulder. And what you're going to do, I'm going to show you a few massage techniques that I want you to do after you do the points. So the first one, you're going to apply a little lotion. Once again, stay off the spine. And you're going to push your hand all the way up and over the top of the shoulder and out. So you can stand at the side of the bed and push up, depending on who your person is. If you have a little child, you can still do this. You're not going to push hard. Very gently is enough. And I would do that 5 to 10 times on both sides. So you can push up this way and out, having the spine in between your fingers and nothing touches the spine. That way we keep it very safe. If anyone has spinal issues, you're not putting pressure on the spine whatsoever. And so we go up the spine, and then the next one, you're going to actually fan out. So as you can see, we're fanning out on both sides, pushing this way, just like that. So the first one is up. The second massage technique is pushing out. So we want to push up and then out. And then you're going to use this part of your hand. And I put in your notes, it's the fish flop. So your wrist is actually quite relaxed. And you're going to end with this, and you just start and come all the way up, over the shoulders, and back down. And do both sides of the body. You can do it, doesn't matter which side you start on. What matters is you do both sides. So you have, as you can see, I'm going to turn it just a little bit, you have a few red points that are showing up on the camera, and that's what you're going to see. When I work with children, you're going to see little red points come up. That's just circulation, so don't worry about it. The most important thing is push very gently, especially if you're working on a child. It's really gentle, so don't push very hard. Okay, I'm going to have Davis turn over. So that's the back of the body, and the front of the body. Okay, so we're going to find the breastbone, which is here, and the clavicle. So I'm going to show on me, there's a little divot here. If you want to put your fingers on your own body and feel that little divot, that's our very first point for lung. That's an excellent point for coughing. So if there's a lot of coughing, you can actually flip it just like I'm showing you, gently, and that helps to move energy out of the throat, which sometimes when we have mucus, it builds up and creates more coughing. And that little acupressure point, it will look just like this on the person you're working on. And you do it 30 times just to get the energy moving up out of the body. It may make you cough a little bit more because it actually starts bringing it up, and that's a good thing. And then it will clear out some of the mucus if there's any mucus in there. Okay, and then we're going to stay on the breastbone. And so from that point we just did here, you're going to move about 2 inches down. Really important, you're on another bone here in the front. Do not push hard. Slight movement in a clockwise motion, just like this. And you're going to do that about 50 times. You're going to see red come to the surface. That means you're doing it correctly. And then from there, you're going to move out so we can see directly straight across from the nipple line. That's a marking that's an easy find, a landmark that we can use. And then you're going to rotate once again about 50 times on the sternum. Don't go below that. So we want to stay off. Once we get about here, which is just below the nipple, you don't want to go any farther down. And the massage techniques here, I'm going to put a little lotion on my hands. So your lotion you can use, if you like essential oils, I would add those in, depending on if you've used them before. So eucalyptus is a really nice oil blend that you can mix with some olive oil or jojoba oil to open up the lungs. It's just a little bonus if there is congestion. If you're working with children, I would always do a test with the oil before you ever put it on them. You can put a little spot on their wrist or their ankle and just to make sure there's no allergy. And so once we come back up here, you're actually going to put a little oil on the chest and lightly, once again, you're going to come from the sternum, the breastbone, and gently move out, just like that. So we're fanning. The whole idea, when the body clenches and tightens and the shoulders come forward, it creates restriction through the muscle tissue in the chest, compressing the lungs, which is why it's difficult to take a deep breath, let alone stress and anxiety that gets added on and creates more weight. I would say that's energetic weight in our system, and then the body literally kind of folds in on itself. So the whole idea behind this class tonight is, how do I open the body back up? And this fanning out this way is really helpful. And the other thing that I would do is just a light little fish flop again along the top part of the chest, just to open it up a little bit more. And one last point. In the hand, this little point here, you can all grab your hands if you're watching and squeeze it. It will be tender on most people. This is a lung point. It's also a neck and shoulder point. It's a great universal one to use when you're having neck and shoulder pain and also need to open up the lungs. So you can hold this point and or put your fingers here and rotate clockwise 50 times again. This one may get a little bit itchy and red, more so than on the chest, just because this point holds so much tension. And it's also called a gateway point. It helps the energy to move out of the body. So in our lives, we collect energy, we collect stress, and it weighs the body down. The idea behind this work is to open it back up and take some of that energy out of our system and off of the body, so we can breathe better and actually have a lot less anxiety. So that is it for our online classroom tonight. The next one I will be doing is on digestion. Very simple, like we did tonight on the belly. It will help with digestion in children and adults. Both are very gentle. And I hope to see you next time. If you have any questions, please post them. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And I will record this so you can share it with the notes that I've taken for you. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for showing up.